Having noted several critical differences between deduction and induction, it is important to recognize that inductive arguments do provide support for their conclusions, but it's support that never necessitates the conclusion. Another way of saying this is that the conclusions of inductive arguments are conjectures, what we also call hypotheses in the sciences. Take a look at this image illustrating the process of hypothesis testing. Let's say that a person observes that her flashlight isn't working. She then ponders the possible explanations. She hypothesizes that either the batteries are dead or the bulb is burnt out. She then sets up a test for the first hypothesis. She predicts that replacing the batteries will fix the problem. In order to test the prediction, she replaces the batteries. But when she turns on the flashlight, there's still no light, so she has proven her first hypothesis is false. She then turns to her second hypothesis, the conjecture that the bulb has burned out. As in the previous hypothesis, she sets up a test. She predicts that replacing the bulb will fix the problem. She replaces the bulb and tests the prediction. The flashlight works. Does this mean that she has verified the hypothesis? Not exactly. Logically, it only means that she has not falsified the conjecture. We need to see clearly that inductions can never provide certitude for the hypotheses or conjectures that their conclusions represent. Nonetheless, inductions can provide a degree of plausibility, that is, reasonable likelihood or probability that would be sufficient to allow us to accept the argument. We should also note that likelihood or probability depends on the strength of the evidence that we have marshaled to test the hypothesis. Can we absolutely confirm a scientific hypothesis? No, but we can make it so plausible as to be a virtual certainty. How do we know whether an inference is inductive? First, we know that any argument will be inductive whose premises do not provide absolute and conclusive certitude for its conclusion. But how do we test for conclusive certitude? There are two common sense questions we can ask ourselves. First, is it possible for an argument of the same form to have true premises and a false conclusion? Second, can we assert its premises and deny its conclusion without contradiction? If we answer yes to either question, the argument is inductive. This concludes this segment of a multi-part lecture on induction. Please proceed to the next segment.